Welcome to Golden Bachelor. If you love celebrity news and real entertainment updates, you're in the right place. She arrived in the city with the same energy she brought to every new chapter of her life. Big dreams, bigger curls, and the biggest smile you could possibly imagine. Jess had been invited to the glamorous finale event of her favorite show, and before anything else, she needed one thing: a little pampering at her favorite blowout bar. Walking through the glass doors, she felt the soft hum of hair dryers, the splash of citrus-scented sprays, and that unique, magical buzz that only happens when a room full of women are getting ready together. She tossed her handbag onto the chair, glanced at the mirror, and laughed at her own reflection. "Oh, girl, we definitely need a miracle today." The stylist smirked. "Lucky for you, we do miracles before breakfast." Jess loved that. She sat down, wrapped up in the fluffiest cape known to woman, while her two best friends, Alicia and Bree, took their spots next to her, each one already plotting how to turn their glam session into a mini celebration. "Before we get fancy," Alicia announced, "we're playing a game." Jess raised an eyebrow. "Already? At 9 in the morning?" "Exactly," Bree replied. "That's when all the best decisions happen." They clinked their little plastic cups filled with sparkling apple juice, because it was still early, and because they all secretly liked the drama of pretending it was champagne, and that was enough to kickstart the chaos. Alicia reached into the small golden bowl they'd brought, pulled out a folded note, and read it dramatically. "Have you ever slid into someone's DMs?" Jess hesitated for a moment, eyes darting back and forth. Yes, once. Okay, twice. But listen, I was being brave and also bored." Bree gasped. "Girl, tell us everything." Jess shook her head. "Nope, I'm protecting my pride today." They erupted into giggles, and the stylist behind Jess whispered, "This is better than watching TV." The game continued, each question more unhinged than the last. Bree admitted she once gave someone a fake name because she panicked and forgot her real one. Alicia confessed she'd accidentally texted the wrong person in a group chat and immediately pretended it was a scientific experiment on human embarrassment. And Jess, with a dramatic sigh, revealed she once tried to talk to a guy who looked like a storybook prince, only to discover he didn't know what conditioner was. But the laughter wasn't the best part. The best part came when the stylist turned Jess's chair around, revealing her transformation. Her hair curled into soft golden waves, bouncing gently over her shoulders. She looked like she stepped straight off a movie poster. All three women gasped. "Girl, you look good." Jess spun, admiring her reflection. "Okay, but why am I blushing at myself right now?" They grabbed their bags and stepped onto the sidewalk, sunlight spilling across their faces. The day felt alive, electric, full of possibilities. And Jess couldn't wait for what came next. She slipped into the town car waiting outside and exhaled deeply, resting her head on the seat. She loved her life, but she also loved the quiet moments before it all began, the moments just like this when the world outside felt suspended and she could breathe. Later that day, she found herself backstage, surrounded by cameras, makeup lights, producers with headsets, and a kind of excitement that buzzed like fireworks. Her heart raced, not because of the event, but because she knew someone special was going to be there. His name was Jack. Jack, the man with the soft smile that could melt steel. Jack, who always held the door for her, even when they were already inside. Jack, who listened like nothing in the world mattered except what she was saying. They had met months earlier, before she'd traveled for filming. Since then, he had shown her a type of calm she didn't know she needed. Tonight was the first time she'd see him in weeks. She wandered toward the side hallway, pretending she needed to check the lighting, but really hoping she might magically run into him. She turned the corner and froze. There he was, leaning against the wall, hands in his pockets, wearing a charcoal blazer that fit him a little too well. "Jess?" Her heart dropped, then soared. "You're early." He shrugged with a playful smirk. "What can I say? I like seeing you before the cameras try to steal you from me." She tried to act cool, but her cheeks betrayed her. "Well, hi." He stepped closer, his cologne warm and familiar. "Hi." They stood there in silence for a moment, smiling like two people who secretly knew everyone else in the building had disappeared. He finally broke the moment. "Want to sneak away for a second?" Jess nodded, and the two of them slipped out the side door into the quiet garden behind the venue. Fairy lights hung from the trees, flickering softly like tiny stars. "It's so pretty," she whispered. "Yeah, it is," he said softly. She turned, catching him staring at her. "Stop, you're embarrassing me. I'm just telling the truth." As they walked deeper into the garden, she told him stories from the morning, the blowout bar, the spicy questions, the disastrous DM confession. He laughed, genuinely amused, shaking his head like she was the most adorable tornado he ever met. "You're impossible," he said. "And yet," she teased, "you keep showing up." He nudged her shoulder. "Yeah, I do." They reached a small bench beneath a lantern. Jess looked up at him, suddenly realizing just how much she'd missed him. Her voice softened. "You know, I didn't realize how much I needed today until now." Jack's expression shifted, gentle, thoughtful. "You do so much for everyone, Jess. You deserve days like this."
Taken aback by his sincerity. "Are you trying to make me cry before I go on camera?" He grinned. "Just warming you up." She smacked his arm lightly, but before she could say anything else, he reached for her hand. "Jess." She stilled. "I know your life can get loud, and complicated, and busy, but if you ever want something steady, something real, I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere." Her throat tightened. She hadn't planned for her heart to feel like this today. She hadn't planned for romance or confessions or this quiet little pocket of the world where it felt like everything made sense. But sometimes life doesn't wait for the perfect moment. Sometimes it hands you one. She squeezed his hand. "I'm glad you're here." He leaned toward her, just enough that she could hear the warmth in his voice. "Me too." The hallway door swung open suddenly. Bree poked her head out. "Jess, you're on in 5." Jess groaned dramatically. "Duty calls." Jack stepped back, brushing a thumb lightly across her hand before letting go. "You'll be amazing." She smiled. "You always say that." "Maybe because it's always true." She walked toward the door, turning once more before slipping inside. He stood in the garden, hands in pockets again, watching her with an expression that told her everything she needed to know. She wasn't just someone he liked. She was someone he cared for deeply. Inside the venue, lights flashed, people bustled around, and the world resumed its chaotic dance. But Jess felt calm, steady, anchored in a way she hadn't expected. Her friend spotted her instantly. "Where were you?" Alicia whispered. "You look suspiciously glowy." Jess shrugged, pretending nothing unusual happened. "I moisturize." But Bree narrowed her eyes. "No, girl, that's not moisturizer. That's I just had a moment with a handsome man glow." Jess bit her lip, fighting a smile. "Maybe." They exploded into squeals, grabbing her arms and practically dragging her toward the entrance. Okay, she laughed. "Stop. I need to look composed." "Too late. You look in love." Jess froze. Maybe she did. And maybe she wasn't afraid of that anymore. The night unfolded beautifully. Lights, applause, interviews, laughter echoing through the venue. Jess floated through it all with a new spark inside her chest. Not the nervous kind, not the uncertain kind, but the kind that whispered, "Something good is happening." At the end of the night, she stepped outside and spotted Jack waiting by the car, hands tucked behind him almost shyly. "What's that?" she asked. He pulled out a single gold-tinted rose. "For you," he said. The world paused. The lights shimmered, the air stilled, her heart raced in the sweetest way possible. "You know," she whispered, "you're making it very hard not to fall for you." Jack smirked. "Good." Jess laughed, took the rose, and tucked it close to her heart. The night was perfect. The lights glittered. Her friends cheered behind her, and for the first time in a long time, she felt something she dared not hope for. A beginning. Not on camera, not on set, but in real life, where it mattered most. Jess smiled up at him. "Ready to go?" he asked. "Yeah," she said softly. "Let's go home." And hand in hand, they stepped into the night, glowing, laughing, and completely unaware of how beautiful their story was about to become. Thanks for watching Golden Bachelor. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next big story.